Welcome back to Bible and Blues. And, you wonder what you're going to do with your channel when you start out. And I started out my YouTube channel. It was going to be about music, and it was going to be Bible study, and we're doing all that kind of stuff. And that's good stuff. It's great stuff. I love playing music. I love, reading the Bible. I love doing, we moved on to TV reviews, and boy, some of you guys really like the Emerald City. I really like watching Emerald City and reviewing it and really enjoy it. Taboo is another show I'm enjoying watching. That's a great one. Check some of the stuff out. If you really want to check it out, just look right up here, and you're going to see a card right up there for Taboo. It's a good time. It's a good show. I enjoy it. I encourage you to check it out. Not one to watch with your kids. So if you're watching one with little kids, probably not the one for you. But it's something I haven't done in a long time. And life gets busy, and this happens and that happens, and I haven't read a book. I swear, in years. I mean, years. So one thing I thought I'd just try it out, see what kind of reaction I get from you guys. I want to read a book with you. And this book, the first book I want to read, and see if you like it. It's a book by a man named James L. Rupart. And, again, right over here, you're going to see his name. Okay. Rupart, James L. Rupart. And we're going to read a book. We're going to start reading it called, Rooms. And, this book is available on Kindle. It's available in hardcover. It's available paperback. It's been out for quite a few years. I read it several years ago, and it's still in my Kindle. And so I never had a paper copy of it. And just to kind of get things going, I'm going to we're going to do it through the Kindle. I prefer to have actual books, but we'll go ahead and do a few chapters here with the Kindle. I'm thinking it's going to, we'll see how far I get. I'm going to go with one chapter per video is my intention. And probably typically a one video a week thing on this. So it's going to take a long time to get through a book. But that's okay. We'll get to savor it. We'll get a chance to talk about what did we read during the week. And what did it mean to us? James Rupart he's a Christian writer, and his books tend to have a theme of a theistic theme to them. Not always a Christian theme, but a theistic theme. And really good stuff. So we're going to go and get started on Rooms by James L. Rupart. I'm going to be going through the Kindle here, so I'll be staring at my screen quite a bit. So I do have my water. Like I said, I haven't read in. I think this is one of the last books I read, and this was 4 years ago. Yeah, so other than that, the only things I've read is for Bible studies, which is great. But this is purely for entertainment here. Rooms, Chapter 1. Why would a man he never knew build him a home in one of the most spectacular beaches on the West Coast? Micah Taylor stared out of the windows of his corner office overlooking Puget Sound, wrapping his palm with the edge of the cryptic letter. Cannon Beach, Oregon. Right on the ocean, and built by his great-uncle Archie. At least that's what the letter claimed. But of all the towns up and down Highway 101, why there? A place that repulsed him. A place that he cherished. Both at the same time. Fate wouldn't be that cruel. Shake it off. There couldn't really be a house in that spot with his name on it. No way, not there. This was exactly the kind of practical joke his team might try to pull off. No one would ever accuse Rimsoff's culture of being stoic. If they only knew how badly they'd misfired this time. Micah sighed. But if the letter was real. Time to go, boss. Shannon stood in the doorway, eyes bright behind her Versace glasses, short cropped salt and pepper hair outlining her face. She'd been Micah's administrative assistant for 3 years. smart, and not so easily intimidated. What churned in her 5'8" frame made her one of the strongest links in his company's chain. I hate being called boss, reminded him too much of his dad. Yes, I know. She pulled her glasses down and gave him her pirate look, one eye closed, the other squinting. Micah tried to smile and tossed the letter announcing his inheritance on the desk. Shake it off, he told himself again. It didn't help. You all right? Yeah, great. He grabbed his notebook and wagged his finger at Shannon as they walked out of the office. You shouldn't call someone boss when you're almost as old enough to be their much older sister. Right, Micah said as they fell into step and marched down the halls of Rimsoft. Normally he loved Fridays. The creativity his team poured out was astounding. If employing people better than yourself were an Olympic event, Micah would be swimming in gold. But today wasn't a regular Friday. Today a bizarre letter sat on his desk, trying to dredge up memories he'd buried forever. As they turned the final corner on the way to the conference room, Kelly Kay, one of Micah's more talented programmers, approached. Want to hear something really cool? Her red curls bounced like a slinky. Absolutely. Micah kept walking, now backward, his Nikes scuffing lightly on the teal carpet. Single mom until 4 months ago, Kelly put herself through computer school while working 40 hours a week and taking care of her 10-year-old son. Never complained about 50-hour weeks. Never complained about 60-hour weeks. My kid won that art contest I told you about last week. He's headed to LA this summer to compete in the national. You serious? Listen, if he places, let's fly him and you and that new husband of yours to New York to see the MET. I'll bring Julie, and we'll go check out the art with him, and time it so we can catch a Mariners Yankees game. Really? Kelly half jogged to keep up with him. Rimsoft's already made $2 million off that little antivirus program you developed last year. You're amazing. Micah turned and picked up his pace. Shannon picked up hers too. Her white Adidas running shoes helping in the effort. He couldn't believe this was the same one who showed up her first day wearing 3-inch heels and a business suit straight out of uptight dresses for corporate America. Micah told her to get rid of the heels and put on whatever she loved wearing and felt comfortable in. You could actually stop when you talk to people. Micah frowned at Shannon. We have a meeting, the company. Work to do, software programs to develop, lots of sales, happy stockholders, make money, all that stuff. He brushed past a lush broadleaf, I'm not even sure what this is, Dracaena, Dracaena plant, and walked faster. You're not exactly yourself this morning. A lot on my mind. They just want more time with you, Micah, to know you like them. I like everyone. But to be sure, let's get out an email that says, from Micah Taylor, to you, I like you. I really, really like you. He pushed open the conference room door and held it for Shannon. He returned her glare with a forced smile. The conference room was small, but comfortable. No vaulted ceiling, no massive table, just 2 light tan leather couches and 6 overstuffed espresso brown chairs, all circling the center of the room. Rimsoft's version of Camelot's. The room wasn't designed for ego. It was crafted for efficiency. The couches held 2 people each. On one couch sat Micah's head of legal, with his jet black hair and John Lennon glasses. Next to him slumped his VP of mergers and acquisitions, 31 years old, but looks 50 with his premature gray hair. On the other couch perched his VP of marketing, looking more every day like a young Oprah. Next to her sat his chief financial officer. 2 of Micah's software development VPs sat in the chairs. Shannon also sat in a chair. Micah paced in front of his. On a table in the center of the room sat a steaming pot, filling the air with the aroma of Seattle's best coffee. That's good stuff. Clumped next to it were mugs from Disneyland, University of Washington Huskies, and cups with Rimsoft's logo on them. Good. All the pieces were in place. Time to check out the condition of the chessboard. All right, Micah said, a slice above his normal volume. Let's roll. Where are we with the I2 Rock Alliance? Done, his mergers VP said. We love their hardware. They still love their software, right? Madly. Excellent. Great work, Micah focused on Oprah's twin. Is the ad layout done for Wired? Yep. Last one you did was a home run into the rafters, so let's keep the hits coming. He turned to his right. Beta testing on version 4 is done, right? Finished Wednesday. Very nice work. I can't believe you already have it almost bug-free. Micah looked at the head of his legal team. You finished the docs for the Basie buyout? Not quite, the man glanced up at Micah. We're almost there. Micah stopped pacing. What was this guy's problem? Everyone else knew how to fire on all cylinders. He couldn't afford to have the guy keep playing with his B game. Micah whipped his pen around on his yellow notepad like a poor man's Picasso, then held it up for everyone to see. This is a sketch of underwear, but not just ordinary underwear. It's asbestos underwear. He turned to the head of legal. You need a pair. Why? Well, you said your team would be done on Tuesday. Now it's Friday. So since it isn't done, your team falls into the category of liar, liar, pants on fire. I would think that the asbestos underwear would help you squelch the flames a bit. The head of legal squirmed and mumbled, We'll get it done by the end of the day. When? End of the day. When? By 2 o'clock. What comes out of a toaster? Legal guy frowned and shifted his chair. Toast? You're not sure? Toast. Positive? Yes. It's 9:30 now. What will you be if your docs aren't finished by noon? Legal guy's face flushed. Toast. A little louder, please, so the whole class can hear. I'll be toast. One of Micah's team coughed. The rest kept their eyes glued on the agenda. Micah turned and looked out the conference room windows, overlooking Puget Sound. One breath. 2. Wow, not the way to win friends and influence stock splits. He turned back to his team. Okay, let's move on. A half hour later, Micah glanced at each member of his team. Thank you for 2 things. First, for being good enough at what you do that this company could no doubt survive without me. Second, for not being so good there's no room left for my input. He grabbed his notebook and strode towards the door. Too harsh in there on Mr. Always Late Legal? Probably. Micah sighed. Definitely. Where did that stuff come from? He rolled his eyes. Micah knew precisely where it came from. Cannon Beach. Shannon stepped in the hallway just ahead of him and clipped down the hall just like a speedwalker. In 2 bounds, Micah caught up with her. Hey, slow down. She walked faster and didn't respond. You've got that Micah was a jerk look again. She looked up at him with a thin-lipped smile. It's only your first time this year. You're improving. They walked 7 paces in silence. I was trying to make a point with a little humor. That's not who I really am. Oh? 4 more paces. You're right. I was a royal platinum certified jerk in there, he whispered. His face grew warm as he fingered the scar on his left palm. It's just some realities about life has stuck with me whether I wanted them to or not. So you weren't this way from birth? Not always, only since he was 9. He looked down as he gave his head a tiny shake. 0, zilch, nada. That's what you'll always be, kid. The rest of the scene, the torn jersey, the humiliation, the message, tried to surface, but Micah slammed the vault to his heart shut, and the memory vanished. By the time he arrived at his office, his breathing steadied, and his focus shifted to the letter from his great-uncle that sat on his teak desk. Micah picked it up and flopped into his black leather chair. The yellowed paper was probably white once, though the fluid script looked as crisp as if it had been scrawled yesterday. The envelope it came in had been sealed with wax, the outline of a lion's head distinct in the dark blue paraffin. Micah leaned back and stared at the name above the return address. Archie Taylor. Definitely strange. Archie was his great-uncle, whom he knew less than a paragraph about. He'd been dead since the mid-90s, and Micah had never met him. Archie had made quite a bit of money and hadn't married, but the rest had always been a mystery. Until Micah's late teens, he hadn't known Archie existed. When Micah had asked, his dad only said Archie was odd, a man to stay away from. Micah opened the letter and wondered once more if it was real. Dated September 27, 1990. Dear Micah, you are likely shocked to have received this letter, as we've never had the opportunity to know each other. The reason for this letter will surprise you more. I have asked a friend to mail it when you turn 35. or when you acquire enough financial resources that you no longer need to labor. Consequently, if you're reading this letter before reaching your 35th birthday, you have already made a significant amount of money, which is sometimes a beneficial occurrence at a young age, but usually is not. If my instructions have been carried out, a home was built during the past 5 months on the Oregon coast, 4 miles south of Cannon Beach. I designed it for you. I assumed by this point you've asked yourself why I would choose to build this house in Cannon Beach of all places. You likely already know why. Because it's time to face your past. It's time to deal with it. My great desire is that the home brings you resolution restoration. And if the builder followed my directives, I believe it will. It will certainly, if you'll forgive the cliche, upset your apple cart if you'll allow it. The home is all you, your great uncle Archie. P.S. There should be a key enclosed with this letter as well as a card with the address. Micah reread the last line and frowned. The home is all you? Typo. Must mean all yours. He leaned his head back till it hit the back of his chair. His dad was right. This guy was a wacko. Face his past? His past was dead, buried, forgotten. And it would stay that way. A noise in the hall made Michael look up. Julie. Good. Back to real life. Julie was a perfect business partner. Tenacious skiing partner. Recent romantic partner. Her shoulder-length blonde hair bounced as she pranced through the door of his office, her crisp beige suit complementing her gleaming pearly whites. Hey! Micah rose up from his desk and opened his arms. When she reached him, she ruffled his dark brown hair and kissed him softly. The faint scent of safari floated up to him. She never wore too much, almost not enough. Julie, powerful yet tender at times, driven and radiant. It was nice to have her back. How's the trip, Jules? We're richer, but I'm so glad it's over. She slid out of her blazer, flicked a piece of lint off the lapel, laid the coat across the back of Micah's chair, and patted it once. I did find the perfect SLR digital camera to add to my collection. You'll model it for me, please? Your baby blue eyes are worth taking up 200 or 300 megs on my laptop. When they started RimSoft 6 years ago, he never imagined they'd strike such a rich vein in the software gold rush. Of course, he never imagined their long-term platonic relationship would butt into romance either. Micah sat down and stared at Archie's letter. He had to get down there, and if the house existed, get rid of it, now. You with me here? Julie leaned against Micah's desk. Huh? I asked about Monday's board meeting, and I think waiting 5 seconds for a response is long enough, she laughed. Sorry, I didn't hear you. Brain freeze. I got a bizarre letter from my long-lost relative. In fact, this weekend I might have to go. Julie pressed 2 fingers against his lips. We can't allow those thoughts to escape. What thoughts? Of nixing our Whistler trip this weekend. You and me and snow and spring skiing and fireplaces and old bottles of Cabernet. Ring any bells? He grinned, raised his eyebrows, and hoped Julie would understand a change in plans. If you're canceling, you better have a really, really good reason. She straightened the collar of his olive green polo shirt. Apparently, I've inherited a house right on the ocean, just south of Cannon Beach. Cannon Beach? A scowl flashed across her face. Didn't you once tell me you hated Cannon Beach? I used to love it. What? You did? Forget it. Sorry, Archie. The emotions that stupid letter wanted him to face would never see daylight. Julie stared at him, but he ignored it. Let me see something. Julie leaned over him as her red fingernails danced over his keyboard until a sampling of Cannon Beach oceanfront homes for sale flashed on screen. Take a look at these. She tapped the monitor. Your little gift could be worth $3 million plus. Throw a sign on it and make some quick cash. Exactly. The quicker the better. That's why I love you, Micah. Cha-ching. Where did this mystery house come from? He picked up the letter and drew it across his hand like a blade. My great uncle, whom I'd never met, had it built for me. You never met him and he gives you a house? Weird, huh? Micah snapped his fingers. So this weekend, let's head for the sand, see if it's real. And if it is, put a for sale sign on it and make some money. Instead of Whistler? Her shoulders sagged. You're right. He ran a finger over the surface of the letter. Let's go skiing. Wow, you really need to get this taken care of, don't you? Julie didn't wait for an answer. A few seconds later, Googler splashed onto Micah's monitor. Address? Micah read it to her off the letter. In moments, they gazed at a patch of dirt overlooking the ocean. Not even a pile of concrete. Maybe, maybe not. Look, the satellite image is 7 months old. Archie's letter says the home was built by someone during the past 5 months. Micah's gaze stayed riveted on the screen. There could be. How about I make you a deal so you can go to the beach? Might break my heart. Hey, it's not that important for. No, stay with me here. I know that look. You have to go. If you switch out our weekend at Whistler for a week in the Alps, we have a deal. Then you'll come with me this weekend? No. What? I'm not sure I want to do this by myself. Julie slid her finger across Micah's cheek and turned his head toward her. Something tells me you need to do this alone. It would be his first time in Cannon Beach in more than 20 years. And his last. Without question, the last. Here is chapter 1. Not bad. A little over 20 minutes total. I think we can do this. What do you think about Micah and and this mysterious house? If you've read the book, you kind of know what's going on. But what do you think of Micah and his great uncle Archie? Just giving him a house. I mean, who wouldn't want that, right? Age 35. Here's a house on Cannon Beach. Here you go. Have fun with it. That's kind of crazy. I mean, who doesn't ever have fantasies of that rich great uncle that you may have met or never knew or never even knew existed, leaves you something like this. So there's something. And now we know that we know that Micah is part of the .com revolution. It kind of dates the book there. But doing really well with software, which people still do in this area. I am in the Puget Sound area. It helps the book kind of speak to me a little bit. And Cannon Beach is actually, I have a close friend who is from that area. So what do you think of that? This is kind of weird. This has happened. And, they had it built 5 months before he receives the letter. So in the past 5 months, this house suddenly shows up, and that's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool little gift, isn't it? I mean, fortunately, he has a lot of money, so if he has to pay property, a bunch of inheritance taxes and things like that on it, it's taken care of. But anyway, tell me what you think of the story so far. We're in chapter 1. I'm gonna try to continue on for several chapters, and if you hoping to gain a little audience with this. Get some conversation going about the story. Check it out. Give me some comments down below. The book is not expensive. Like I said, it's been out for quite a while. And so you can get it on Kindle for like $1, $2. You can get a hardcover for under 10. You can get it in paperback for 5 or 6. This is all off of Amazon. And I encourage you to do it. It's a really good book. I think I had a good start. I didn't do too bad with it. I didn't even bother trying to make my voice sound like a girl's. I didn't even go there. Nope. Tell me what you think. Tell me what your ideas are. Do you relate to Micah yet? To be honest, I relate to the story a little bit, but I've never been a wealthy person, never had a lot of money, didn't growing up, still don't. I was only just over a year ago, just bought my first house, still drive a 25-year-old car, so how do you relate to that? On the other hand, he does seem like a nice guy. Maybe you're a .com person. Maybe you're a real internet person, so you can relate to it that way. He has what you consider your typical .com office that we see have been seeing for the past 20 years plus. Of everybody's wearing casual wear and things like that, and everybody works really, really, really hard, but you're comfortable, and things are not done in a really stuffy way like a lot of offices are. So this is a common theme that you see in the .com revolution, and so this is a story that, for the most part, I mean, your kids can be around and hear me talking about it. Your kids can be around to hear me reading it. I don't recall if there's much of any, if hardly any cuss words at all in the whole thing. Feel fairly comfortable with that. And I will keep the water going because I'm not used to just talking this much straight. So anyway, off to editing world, and thanks a lot. We'll talk to you later. God bless.